I'm sorry, who actually have gone through menopause. So they actually pre-menopause or going through menopause or after menopause can actually experience hormonal disruption, hence issues associated with polycystic ovaries, ovarian cysts, endometriosis, that type of thing. So with that particular discussion, we were actually able to help a number of women understand how important it is to understand the difference where the transition is concerned. Because what a lot of women don't understand is that you find there are women who have situations where they are actually about to go through menopause. So their period hasn't stopped. They have not gone through menopause, but what they start to experience is hormonal disruption, insomnia, problems with excessive weight gain, or the inability to lose weight despite exercising, despite um, keeping a healthy lifestyle. You find women as well start to experience things like depression or anxiety or panic attacks, and that is before the menopause. Some women during menopause experience those symptoms and more. They have problems with issues associated with changes in blood pressure. So all of a sudden they are hypertensive now, where their blood pressure, the top number is very elevated as well as the bottom number. So you find that that as well is an indication of hormonal disruption. So you actually have a lot of women now who are suffering or who have been diagnosed with hypertension, but their hypertension is actually secondary hypertension because there is actually a primary reason or a primary cause as regards to why these women have high blood pressure, which is the issue associated with hormonal disruption. Keep in mind, it is a question and answer. We are listening to the program Support Your Health Naturally. We're actually discussing and dealing with hormonal disruption in women. And it is an open discussion, and we're doing some changes as regards to our stuff. Good. We are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook, and on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. Let me say a pleasant good evening to Miss June Jatan. So we do apologize again for the sudden change that we had. We know a lot of you guys were looking out for us on Monday, which was actually Monday going here, the 15th. But as I said, because of slight technical difficulties, were not able to keep to that, but we have decided to do it tonight. So, of course, share the live. We would be touching some topics. We'll be highlighting some of the specials that we actually have at Batson Associates this month. We actually have a Christmas in July promotion. And of course, we have symposiums, symposiums coming back where we actually able to give back to the public to an extent and actually offer solutions, workable solutions to individuals who have issues for the longest while. You might have a problem associated with hypertension. So, you're following what the doctor saying, you're taking your medication, but for some reason the blood pressure is not going down. At Batson and Associates, we actually work on the root cause or the root issue of the problem. So in cases like that, you find that we would actually now recommend you do that blood analysis where we actually look at the live blood, the dry blood, to really determine the root cause of those things going on in your body. So that Christmas in July promotion, where you actually get 25% off that circulation protocol, you actually save like over $300 on that. So you can take advantage of that. And those of you who have problems, associated with poor circulation, you may be experiencing things like pins and needles, cramping in your calves, burning under your feet. You might be experiencing issues associated with lightheadedness, dizziness, because you have pulmonary circulation, which is above your heart, and you have systemic circulation, which is below. So you find in instances of poor pulmonary circulation, which is circulation in the brain, you might experience things like dizziness, lightheadedness. You might be diagnosed with having vertigo. But what you really have is poor circulation going to the brain. And at Batson Associates, we offer a number of product supplements that actually assist in that area. We actually have a product we use called Nerve Restore. We actually got that product back in stock. We also have the Circulation Regeneration two really great products. Those I'll discuss a little bit. That's the Circulation Regeneration Tea and the that product that we actually use, the Nerve Restore, as well. those of you who have problems with sleep issues, anxiety, depression, keep in mind we are live on our social media platform. Miss Anne Leger has joined us. Miss Kathleen Ishmael, always a pleasure to see you on, my dear. Always a beautiful blessing. Thank you so very much for that. Hi. So we're discussing hormonal disruption in women. And, as I said, we just got thrown off this week because of some changes we had to make. But of course, we're back up and running as regards to this hormonal disruption. So spread the word. We will resume from the Monday, sorry, that we promised. So we'll actually be going the 22nd, the 29th, and we'll add an additional Monday because of this sort of mix-up that we had. Because I know a lot of persons would didn't actually get information as regards to the changes. Okay, Miss Donlow, good evening to you. Miss Felicia James. So we're discussing hormonal disruption. Keep in mind it is an open session. So if you do have questions, feel free to ask your questions, and I will try my utmost best to answer those questions for you. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. We're discussing hormonal disruption in women. So let's discuss the depression aspect of that. What is depression? Depression fundamentally has to do with feeling of almost wanting to be in isolation. So someone who's depressed doesn't like to go out. They don't like to really dress up. They don't like to prepare themselves in some cases. You have different degrees of depression, of course. The severer forms of depression would, of course, indicate or show where persons they would like to come out of their bedroom. They don't even shower as often. They might like to eat. They always want to remain by themselves, in isolation. Always depressed, sad mood. That is something that could actually be caused by hormonal disruption, because most women who are actually going through PMS, which is postmenopausal syndrome, which is what one of the reasons why this whole symposium came about, is because we have so many women now who come into us. Thank God they're getting very good results, where we could actually recommend an integrative alternative or integrative PMS program to actually help women with things like, as I mentioned, insomnia, depression, anxiety, panic attacks, weakness in the legs. I mean, the symptomology with these things are so severe that women could experience serious neurological imbalances, where they actually experience things like nervous breakdowns, and that's something you wouldn't want anyone to experience. So those of you who know women who are experiencing postmenopause or going through menopause, and they have hormonal disruption, of course, feel free to give us a call or visit. Those telephone numbers, of course, are below the screens. You can actually call those numbers. You can actually WhatsApp the 3149975 number, and someone would actually be able to speak to you as regards to this issue, and of course any issue that you may have. Ms. Marge Phillips says, a pleasant good night, Dr. Batson. I am completely out of inflammation formula and my knees are killing me. I am outside of TNT. What can I use instead? Okay, Ms. Marge Hills, what we will do, I will send some recommendations for you, where you could actually go on our landing page, and we could actually get something there for you that's going to really work good with that. So I'm going to make sure our marketing department actually notes this message, and we'll have someone follow up with you. Okay, Ms. Rose Joy says, good evening to you. One of the things too as well, so we dealt with the depression aspect. What about the issues with vaginal dryness? That's something that a lot of people do discuss. A lot of women feel ashamed for it in some instances, but it is something that could be a result of serious hormonal disruption. And with that hormonal disruption issue, you find that a lot of women again have serious problems where they now are experiencing these depression, this weakness in the legs, and insomnia. They literally feel as if they're going mad. And that is not an exaggerated statement or me trying to be facetious in any way. They really feel terrible. So, ladies, spread the word. We are discussing hormonal disruption in women, which also includes polycystic ovarian syndrome. So it's not only older women that we're dealing with, but women who are menstruating, and a lot of women now actually menstruating at earlier ages, right? I see someone, oh yeah, Miss Ishmael, as regards to Santulan. No, my dear Santulan, God's willing, as I said, before the end of this month. So today's the 17th, we have a little more time. So bear with us again, but that's what we're looking at. Month 10, God's willing. Right? We have everything on track for that. Okay, thanks again for your patience. Good. So as regards to that particular aspect associated with hormonal imbalance in females, as I mentioned, polycystic ovarian syndrome. So I touched on a product called Nerve Restore. Now, Nerve Restore, excuse me, is actually a product of Batso and Associates, which actually helps with sleep. We normally recommend that we could assist an individual. You usually take one Nerve Restore with breakfast. If you're really, really badly off, then you take one with breakfast, one with dinner. But it definitely helps with sleep. It definitely helps with depression issues. It helps with persons who have a lot of stress to deal with. Keep in mind, you can also WhatsApp or contact our WhatsApp on 373. That's C373, sorry, 3388. Again, that's 373 3388. So you could actually WhatsApp that number and get information on the Nerve Restore. We also have Circulation Regeneration Tea, excellent product. It's really good. Miss Kathleen Isha says, great product. It regulated my sleep. She referred to the Nerve Restore there, of course. Thanks so very much for that. The Circulation Regeneration Tea is also a very good product, simply because it assists in dealing with blood pressure, and a lot of persons who have things with pins and needles, cramping in the calves, burning under your feet, those type of situations, because it really assists in regulating again hormonal imbalance. It also regulates circulation in the peripheral, so that's circulation in the extremities. Good. So that is the Circulation Regeneration Tea. You can always call the numbers listed below there. That number again, 2228261. That's 2228261, as well as 314. That's 3149975. You can also WhatsApp us on 373. That's 373 33, sorry, 88. So 373 3388. A lot of threes there. Good. Keep in mind as well too, we are actually doing a question and answer. So if you have any questions, I see we have a lot of persons coming in on the live. Of course, like the posts, like this program, share it with your friends. A lot of women experiencing this, a lot of women hiding this, because a lot of women, they feel shame to come and tell you, I'm having problems with insomnia. I feel it's menopause. But women automatically, when they're talking about menopause, it's something to be ashamed of. They feel like if they're old or something wrong with you. No, you're a human being. And the thing is, hormonal disruption is as a result of serious nutritional deficiencies that even most medical doctors wouldn't be able to recognize. Nutritionists not even able to recognize. It's just because persons like myself who are trained in integrative medicine, clinical nutrition, medical nutrition, understands the body and understands what is supposed to be there. So when we do a blood analysis on a client, I remember getting a client up to recently, someone is who actually promised us a testimony. And one of the things that client had when they came to us was serious problems with hormonal disruption. She was not sleeping. She had serious depression problems. She had serious anxiety, serious issues with hypertension, panic attacks. It was bad. And it's only after 2 sessions, which would have been 6 weeks, so over a period of 3 months, she actually saw significant improvement. She followed the entire protocol, which recommended things like the Nerve Restore. We also recommended the silver with the mineral formula. Inflammation formula is a must in there as well. The wheatgrass together with the grass and the roots, because we are very specific in the protocol that we put together. We also got back anthocyanin complex, and that actually helps to boost the immunity. It also helps with serious circulation. So persons who have problems with things like glaucoma, cataract, detached retina, any problem with the eyes, the eye optics formula as well is also a product that you can actually find out about. Very good product for things like cataract, glaucoma, pterygium, which is growth on the eyes. Good. So again, feel free to give us a call or visit. Also, keep in mind we have our pensioner special, where we have our senior citizens for the entire month of July. We actually brought back our senior citizens special, where all senior citizens, yes, all senior citizens will be able to receive a free magnetic resonance analysis scan with their pension special package. So you can call the office. That is something we're doing for the pensioners. That telephone number again up there, 2228261. as well as 3149975. You can also get information on the eye optics formula if you have problems with glaucoma, cataract, detached retina. You know, at Batso Associates, we try to cover a wide range of ailments, a wide range of issues, and as trained consultants in natural and integrated medicine, you know, we're actually able to help a lot of persons. Another client, you know, testifying about the nerve restore there, Miss Charmin Melville Kennedy, she said, good night. Is nerve restore good? Oh, no, she's asking, is nerve restore good for men also? Yes, it is. It's excellent for men. The product is not a female product. Keep in mind, the only product that is a female product would be things like the women's formula. But in terms of the nerve restore, the anthocyanin complex, optimizer, cerebral, all those products are unisex products. Prostate formula, of course, is going to be for men. The women's formula for women. But things like the inflammation formula, advanced chlorophyll, wheatgrass, those are, you know, general products that we use depending on what your situation is. A lot of persons would not necessarily be recommending the same thing at the same time or in the same way, because of course we're looking at dealing with individuals from their, you know, individual perspectives and individual circumstances, comorbidities, whatever the case may be. So that is why it's important that we pay attention to that. So ladies listening, you know, feel free to ask questions. Keep in mind we are discussing hormonal disruption in women. So we touch on the depression aspect. We also touch on insomnia. We touch on weight gain. So let's go and talk about weight gain a little bit. So what we're talking about here. So women who have hormonal disruption that cause weight gain, usually these women tend to try to be very fit. You know, they always exercising, they're running, trying to follow on the diet. But for some reason, they can't lose the weight. And they become very frustrated. And of course, you know, like they want to kill people because they think they're doing everything that is right and they're not losing, excuse me, weight. The problem is you have a lot of hormonal problems. There's a product we carry at Batso Associates called Women's Formula. That's the product I was talking about. So this product is specifically, of course, for women, right? And the women's formula plays a significant role in a number of things. So women who have, let me just digress a little bit, women who have problems with painful menstrual cycle, irregularity in their cycle, cycles where they have frequent bleeding, very heavy bleeding for a number of days, 15 days, a whole month, or spotting. Women's formula is definitely a product you should look into. Together with the Uterine Plus, which is actually a detox for the uterus. Again, a product that has a lot of great reviews behind it. Helps a lot of women with problems associated with polycystic ovaries, fibroids, ovarian cysts, endometriosis. It also plays a significant role because all women with hormonal disruption as it relates to polycystic ovaries, fibroids, ovarian cysts, endometriosis, all of you actually have a gastrointestinal problem. So a lot of women with those issues tend to be constipated. You'll understand what that means? You'll understand what it means to be constipated. A lot of people don't understand what constipation is. You know? Okay? Laurie D. Alexander, sorry, says, can it also cause weight loss? Yeah, hormonal disruption could also cause weight loss as well. It could also be an indication of thyroid problems. You could actually have hyper or what is known as high thyroid function. I mean, a thyroid function test, TSH, T3, T4, and of course the blood and the scan, which we will do at Batso Associates. The T3, T4, TSH can be done by a lab. We can always refer you to get it done. That is going to indicate issues associated with thyroid problem. Of course, we can now bring some balance there. Diabetes could also be an indication, or it can also be a cause for weight loss. So that is something you might have to look at. You might have to look at your HbA1c. But definitely you could give us a call or visit and come in for a consultation at least. Those telephone numbers, of course, again, listed below there. That telephone number, 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 3149975. No Name Noel says, hello, Dr. Batson. Good evening from Canada. Pleasant good evening, No Name Noel from Canada in the house. So we discussed circulation regeneration. So let's talk a bit about that. So people who have problems with swelling, what really is usually, because we're discussing hormonal disruption, and this is actually one of the symptomology, associated with hormonal disruption, which is problems with poor circulation. As we mentioned before, things like pins and needles, cramping in your calves, burning on their feet. Now, note, men do suffer from hormonal disruption, but we're not discussing men right now. That is actually our next series I think I'm going to do. I have to try and get a lot of support, you know, and try and reach as much men, because a lot of men, you know, guys, we don't listen. A lot of you don't listen, and because of that, you end up in problems. And because of those problems, now we have issues with what type of issues? We have serious prostate issues. So stop allowing your pride. Nobody has to do any digital test. Nobody's pushing any finger anyway. There are other tests, that are non-invasive that would definitely help us to help you. So don't sit down there in ignorance and think you're doing yourself any good by not going and check out yourself. You're leaving yourself to end up with stage 3, stage 4, stage 5 cancer, prostate cancer. A lot of people, when they realize they have prostate cancer, is when it's too late. That's what we try to help people to understand. Try and be proactive. Try and actually start looking out for yourself and doing what you're supposed to do to help with your health. Miss Elizabeth Nana said, Doc, good night. I'm loving the information you're sharing. Thank you so much. Yeah, so, you know, that's something that you need to do, because when that situation gets to it, you'll realize how much people get in strokes now. You'll realize that. Almost every day, I'm currently treating a number of stroke patients all of a sudden. And the reason for that is that people do not know how to take care of themselves, in some cases. And in a lot of instances, they are not equipped. And again, I am not in the politics of medicine. I always tell persons, you know, it's a matter of different doctor for different purpose. You know, but a lot of persons are malnourished. They don't understand proper nutrition. They don't understand diet ethics. And that is where Batso and Associates comes in. Because as trained consultants in integrative medicine, we have the ability to assist you to reach where most people cannot get you. And I mean, and people might say a boasting, and yeah, it is a boast. Because we are good at what we do. We have people who come to us who are on the verge of madness because of the amount of depression. You ever suffer from depression? Depression is not a nice thing to go through. You ever suffer? What's the longest you ever didn't sleep? I was asking this question when I did the first program the Monday. What is the longest you ever not sleep for? 2 days, 3 days, 4, 5, 6, a week? What's the longest you ever went without sleep? I can't do without sleep. That's why nerve restore came about. I did that product for me. I always tell people that. Because a lot of individuals do not sleep properly. They don't. So that product actually helps you sleep. It helps with depression. It actually helps you deal with stress. It has the ability to improve the body and help the body to adapt to certain things. So it's definitely a great product to use. Okay, Diane Joseph Benjamin says, serving with pride and joy. Joy Benjamin. Okay, great. It's Kathleen Ishmael, nights of uninterrupted sleep. Yes, I couldn't say it better myself. Next testimony there from Kathleen Ishmael, nights of uninterrupted sleep. Watch me here, to sleep like a baby. If you feel you're sleeping now, come and get a nerve restore. I guarantee you. I promise you. Now, if you know you're taking a million medication for depression, anxiety, and sleep, then you need to do a consultation. Don't buy the product just so. But the possibility exists you have a lot of other issues that we have to deal with simultaneously to give you the results that you want. Okay? Remember, you're not coming to just spend money, you're coming to get results. That's very, very important. Batso Associates thrives on assisting the clients to do that. That's why we have feedbacks, follow-up. We call you. Do you call you because we want the body and always calling you to take your money? Is you have to take care of yourself. We're just reminding you. And as I always tell persons, you don't want to come and buy all the product we have in the store. You can take one by one, but do something to help yourself. You'll notice I was talking about strokes earlier. A lot of people getting strokes. This is not no joke. Vascular dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson. Those are neurological problems. Those are problems associated with lack of sleep. Sleep deprivation. That is what it's called. A lot of people are sleep deprived. Okay? Ms. Kathleen Ishmael said it did make my body feel different. Ms. Elizabeth Sandana says, one night on a very, very rare occasion, early to bed, early to rise. Exactly. Ms. Kathleen Ishmael said, it did make my body feel noticeably different. Yeah, it's a great product. Great, great product. We only carry the best at Batso Associates. which is why that Santulang, as soon as we get Santulang, we're going to call you on, because we know the quality of the product. We just had a little issue with it. Okay, the women's formula as well. So, you know, if you have a problem with hormonal disruption, definitely the women's formula, the nerve restore, are two products you're looking at together with the inflammation formula. That's our next great product. So you're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. We're discussing our four-part series discussing hormonal disruption. We're talking about the Nerve Restore, that product we're going to be highlighting a lot. We also have our promotion, Christmas in July, and that promotion, you get 25% discount off our circulation protocol. So those of you who are having problems with things like pins and needles, cramping in your cars, burning under your feet, all those issues, you can actually get significant help and assistance with this circulation protocol. So call the office. Those telephone numbers, of course, listed below there. Keep in mind you're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates. It's actually now 9 p.m. So we started the program 8:30. So the program is to go till 9:30. So keep in mind, those of you who may have questions or you know someone who's experiencing something, you know, this is the time to ask a question. Keep in mind to like us, share us. We are live on our Facebook. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. Of course, as it relates to that upcoming symposium, so keep your ears, listening, or, as the people, keep your ears pointed, right? To actually hear that, we have our symposium for Shagonas, which is the 25th of August. That's Sunday, the 25th of August. And of course, we are having another one, which we need to just confirm as regards to the location. But that's going to be our Port of Spain symposium. So look out for that information. We'll be actually announcing that this coming week here. Keep in mind, we also have our program on Synergy. Synergy TV is tomorrow at 5 p.m. That's 5 p.m. to 5:15 p.m. We also will join DJ Mamu on djmamuradiott.com. That's from 2:15 to 3:15. And we have our personal live that we do, which is 11 to 11:30. That live, of course, we used to join 103, of course. When we finish organize certain things, we'll actually be resuming that live. But of course, we still have it. So those of you who may have listened to that time, who know persons it's a convenient time, you could let them know that particular live is going to be taking place on our Facebook, Batson Associates Limited on Facebook. On YouTube, we are Batson Associates Trinidad. We're discussing hormonal disruption in women. Keep in mind that symposium taking place at the Shagonas office. That's on Sunday. Yes, it's Sunday. And we'll be having it, late in the afternoon. Not too late. We're actually looking at around 12:30 to 2:30. And in the evening session, we do 3:30 to 5:30. So, just 2 hours, very brief but concise, packed with information, packed with giveaways as well. So that's something you want to take advantage of that. That is our Shagonas Brand Symposium, which has been postponed because we had to move it. We actually wanted to have it, this Saturday coming here, which I believe would have been the 21st. But of course, we had some challenges there. And of course, we thought it better to actually have it later, giving ourselves sufficient time to, really highlight it and publicize it. So that, of course, being Sunday, 25th of August. And of course, that's for the Shagonas office. So a lot of time to plan, you have to call and register. Those numbers, of course, you can actually, so if you plan to come to that symposium, you can actually call the 222-8261 number and let them know and get yourself registered. And there's going to be a small fee, of course, nothing big. That's just for the utilities, the bills. And of course, you can also WhatsApp us on 314-9975. Again, 314-9975. We have Jessel Sibrat said, what can be a possible cause of occasional pain and swelling at the top of your feet? When you say the top of the feet, Miss Jessel, what are you referring to? Your instep? Where exactly you mean on the feet? Is it the instep or just around the ankles there, what, the shin, where you're referring to? Give me some clarification there. Okay, so again, we also having, and keep in mind too as well, I now remember that Nerve Restore is actually on discount for this month. So this month we actually have Nerve Restore on special. So you can take advantage of that, get that information about Nerve Restore on special. You get a discount there. So you can again call those numbers and get that information. So Miss around the ankle. Okay. Usually there's signs of poor circulation. A lot of people who have problems with swelling in the ankle, especially people who stand a lot. I don't know if your job is one where you stand a lot. So people who tend to stand a lot, like nurses, security guards, people who work at night, that type of thing. You find if you work jobs where you miss sleep, you also need to be very careful. Nerve Restore is something will help you, but will actually help you to balance that sleep rhythm and actually get quality sleep. You know, sleep you get in the day is not can never be the same as night sleep. There is no comparison in terms of the quality of night sleep, sorry, as opposed to sleeping in the day hours rather. So you know that Nerve Restore is something that really helps with that. So Ms. Jessel, I would say poor circulation. The circulation regeneration tea is a good product, especially if you have hypertensive, or if you are hypertensive. If not, you could actually look at the circulation tea as well. That is one that you can actually look at. Okay, Elizabeth Nandler said, Doc, check out the question from Balata Queen. Okay, we have a question. Okay, I don't eat rice, sugar, and limited amounts of flour. 95% of my hydration is water. 50 fluid ounce per day. I'm experiencing night sweat. It is premenopause. Any suggestions to help? Oh, sorry, my apologies. For now, senior question. Thank you so very much for that, Ms. Nadler. It could very well be. The thing is, post-menopause issues can come way after menopause. They can come during menopause. They can come before menopause. So all those hormonal disruptions, the whole 20 or even longer symptomology and causes can actually happen within those space or that space of time. So it's very important, ladies, that you pay attention pre-menopause, menopause, post-menopause, because a lot of women are suffering unnecessarily, really, really unnecessary. I mean, and a lot of, the evidence we have is with women who would have come to us. These women were suffering, literally suffering, and they have gotten such great results. You're welcome, Miss Giselle. Rihanna Francis says, blessed night, Doc, and everyone locked on. So again, keep in mind, we discussing hormonal disruption in women. That landing page, we're going to be giving out our landing page shortly, and of course, our website will be back up as well, where you can actually go and, especially those of you abroad, actually get certain products, outside products that I would have worked with before, products that are available easily. So it's easy for me to actually send clients to get it. Excuse me. So that is something we're going to be actually doing for you as well. So keep in mind again, that product, the circulation regeneration tea, it's used with high blood pressure, it's used with poor circulation, swelling in the ankles, swelling in the feet, and Nerve Restore for those of you who have problems with hormonal disruption. So you might have problems with sleep. Keep in mind, Nerve Restore is not a product for women only, even though we're discussing hormonal disruption, sorry, and I am speaking about Nerve Restore. It doesn't necessarily mean that Nerve Restore is only for women. Okay, guys? Miss Elizabeth Mary, sorry, says, good evening, Dr. Batso and Associates. As a naturopath doctor, what natural remedies or treatments do you have for rhabdomyosis? Okay, well, send me back to school here. First time I'm actually seeing this. So I am actually going to Google it. No shame there. I don't know all the diseases in the world. If I know the organ system that is affected, then I will be able to answer, but I do not. So let me see what it is. RH rather, RHA. And it actually came up quickly. Okay, so there's a musculoskeletal. So it says the pronunciation is it's rhabdomyolysis. In any case, I'll get the pronunciation just now. It says it's a condition in which damaged skeletal muscles breaks down rapidly, often due to high-intensity exercise over a short period of time. Symptoms may include muscle pain, weakness, vomiting, and confusion. There may be tea-colored urine and irregular heartbeat. Yeah, I believe you could assist with this. I mean, because the areas or the organ systems that it affecting is the musculoskeletal system. It's also affecting the central nervous system. It's also affecting the metabolic system. So based on what I just read there, right? So in a case like that, definitely we can help in that situation. I would say nerve restore would help. I would say inflammation formula. I would strongly recommend a consultation and a blood and scan. So I would recommend the entire package that we have. That is just because to ensure that we dot our I's and cross our T's, because you're going to have a few organ systems affected. So in treating it, we would have to address certain root aspects of those foundation organ systems. Musculoskeletal, definitely gastrointestinal is in a mess. I have not met you, but I could tell you that. So, you're going to have a lot of bloating, belching, maybe problems with constipation as well. It may not, but usually it is an indication of serious gastrointestinal imbalance, which would have brought you to having problems with musculoskeletal issues and so on and so on. Okay, so Elizabeth, Mary, whoever that person is, I don't know if they're in Trinidad. If not, we could actually do an online consultation for you as well. If you're in Trinidad and Tobago, well, then you could recommend a consultation. Those locations, we are in Tobago. We'll be with you guys, Mountain in Tobago. We also, that office at the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. We also have our office in St. James, Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James, Debe, corner Ramsey Trace, and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe, and of course, Shagonas here, which is first floor Money Talks building. So come get your information on your nerve restore. Nerve restore is actually on special this month. There's a nice discount there. All discounts is good discounts. So you could find out about that. You can also note our upcoming Shagonas brand symposium, and we'll be announcing next week, please God, the symposium for Port of Spain. Most likely we'll be keeping somewhere close to the Savannah there. We just need to confirm certain things, but definitely, we know it's going to be around that area. So that is something to look forward to. The Shagona Symposium taking place Sunday, 25th of August. And as I said, it's going to be in the afternoon. So you can go to church and then come afterwards, whatever the case may be. Go home, change, come afterwards, freshen up and have sitting on one of our symposiums, a lot of persons, if you look at the feedbacks, are very informative. A lot of persons actually took some of the specials that we do, because we do specials with our testing package, and they did take advantage of it because the price was better in some cases, and they were actually able to help themselves, most importantly, and they shared that on certain videos and lives and that one. They gave a positive review of Batson and Associates. But so that symposium again taking place at the Shagonas office. That's first floor Money Talks building in Montrose. Shagonas, that telephone number again is 222. That's 222-8261, 222-8261, as well as 314. You can WhatsApp this number, 314-9975, 314-9975. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson Associates. Ms. Elizabeth Mary says, "Thank you, Dr. Batson. I appreciate your response. You're very, very welcome, my dear." I'm actually going to do some more research on this. It's interesting. It reminds me of connective tissue disorder. Definitely, the individual who has this has a lot of inflammation in the body, so the inflammatory response is very high. They would have had to do a C-reactive protein or ESR to determine the heights or the level of inflammation in the body, but definitely an inflammatory condition with those symptomology that I just looked at there. Eye optics formula is also an option for the diabetic patients. Those of you out there who may have issues with diabetes, you may have issues with things like pins and needles, cramping in your calves, burning on their feet. That is something that, again, you can take advantage of our circulation protocol. So the circulation protocol is going to give you some discounts, and it's going to give you a line of products to actually assist in your poor circulation. You couldn't ask for better than that. So take advantage of that. Again, those telephone numbers up there. Keep in mind, this is a question and answer. So if you have any questions, again, keep in mind, it is now 9:40. So we just have about 16 minutes again. So please ask a question. Do not wait until I'm wrapping up to ask questions. Keep in mind, too, as well, hormonal disruption also affects the thyroid. You know, a lot of persons having problems with hyperthyroidism, issues with serious problems with um, nodules, where you actually have nodules in the thyroids. You know, there are things that we use so that women, sorry, with serious polycystic ovaries, ovarian cyst, endometriosis, those type of things. Again, serious issues. So, you know, there's a lot of help out there. You know, Batso and Associates can help you. Just give us the opportunity to help you, and of course, follow. You know, we had a client who came to us for, you know, procreation. They wanted to have a child, and you know, they came, and you know, results 5 months pregnant. You know, so again, you know, we're happy for that client. And you know, it's just a matter of following through. That's the thing with a lot of people. They come to us, and in some instances, they go and they might talk to a doctor, and the doctor say, "Oh, those things don't work. You know, why are you spending that money and why are you doing this?" Listen to me. Nutrition works. Your body is designed in such a way that what you put into your body is what your body will give you. I have seen it over and over and over and over. I've seen it with myself. I have seen it with clients, with patients. When you treat the body the way the body deserves to be treated, and you give the body the correct information, which nutrition is also information, you are going to be in a very, very good place. Okay, so we just going to take a little water break, a slight water break, you know, and we're going to get back to our discussion. We're discussing hormonal disruption. So we will take any questions that you may have. I'm just going to just allow them to bring a little water for me, so that we would be able to continue our discussion that we're having here. Keep in mind, we are live on our social media platforms. We are Batso and Associates Limited on Facebook, and on YouTube, we are Batso and Associates Trinidad. Okay, we're discussing hormonal disruption. One of the products that we highlighted was the Nerve Restore. Keep in mind, again, that product is actually on discount this month, so you can actually take advantage of that. There's also a question that we had on one of our platforms, where we had someone is asking, "Oh, how do I know that I have gone through menopause?" The thing is, that's a good question, and that's something that a lot of women ask. Usually, doctors would say, well, once you have consecutively not seen a menstrual cycle for 2 years, which is actually 24 months, it means the possibility greatly exists that you would have gone through menopause. Now, there are other tests that you can do with various hormonal values that will indicate whether you went through menopause or not. Those may not necessarily be necessary depending on what you're looking for. But a lot of the times, you know, that hormonal imbalance situation is there and has to be addressed. Okay. In addition to that, you find that women who have issues associated with PMS, as I mentioned before, that postmenopausal syndrome, even the issues of brain fog, a lot of brain fog, a lot of problem with cognitive function, memory, they're not knowing place and time. That's why I was saying, you all realize how serious strokes have become. A lot of people getting strokes now. It's not a situation where they, you know, have issues associated with poor circulation alone. It's actually affecting them where they're actually experiencing TIAs, which are transient ischemic attacks. Those are mini strokes. They actually have them experiencing strokes themselves. So, you know, we don't want that to happen to any of you. You know, a stroke is something to recover from. It's very costly. You know, the physiotherapy alone is a pound and a crown, because stroke patients, because of their mobility issues, depending on where in the brain they would have gotten the stroke and the type of stroke, the duration of the stroke, could determine a lot of damage. So sometimes we actually have to carry stroke patients in ambulances and whatnot and set them up. And then afterwards, when they come back to see us, then they walk in because of the protocol that we would have recommended. Okay, so, you know, don't wait for that to happen to you. An ounce of prevention, as they often say, is an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. Always, right? So let's take advantage of that and, you know, come down at Batso and Associates, those telephone numbers. Keep in mind that senior citizen special, let them know about it, where you get your free or your complimentary magnetic resonance analysis scan. Also, as well, that circulation protocol, And you can check it out at Batson and Associates. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates. We also discussing health from a natural and integrated perspective. We're talking about hormonal disruption. We touched on poor circulation. We also touched on sleep issues. So those of you who are sleep deprived, those of you who want to improve, you heard one of the clients, Miss Kathleen Ishmael, how she actually gave a testimony there, in essence, where she spoke about how it made such a significant difference in how her life um, in dealing with that particular situation. Okay, the Women's Formula, also a very good product to check out. Women's Formula is a really good product as it relates to, again, hormonal disruption. So women who have things like polycystic ovaries, fibroids, ovarian cysts, endometriosis, that's going to help you as well. Ladies who have issues associated with yeah, with problems associated, some water now, please, who have issues associated with polycystic ovarian syndrome, as I mentioned, they would actually be able to get help with the Women's Formula. So again, you can check out that. We actually have a hormonal disruption package as well too. So you can also check out that as well when you come to Batson Associates or when you call. So again, those telephone numbers and locations is on the program there. 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. Again, that's 314-9975. And those locations, we are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. We also in St. James. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number for Davie is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Davie. And of course, that location in Tobago. Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. Tobago, we have your inflammation formula coming up for you shortly. We have, of course, the Alkagen water there, that premium alkaline water that assists with bloating, problems with your stomach. It also helps with bowel movement. Those of you who may have issues with maybe constipation, those of you as well who have issues associating with problems with the eyes as well, that product is also going to assist with that. Rihanna Francis says, forgetting a lot, and I now start being blurred. What causes dots? What causes that, please? The thing is, as you get older, as I mentioned, what happens to you, a lot of the times you don't get sufficient blood flow to the brain. Remember, it's like if you have a garden, right? If you have a garden and you're only wetting half the garden, the other half that's not getting water, what will happen to it eventually? It will die, right? So the same thing applies in the body. If you're not getting sufficient blood flow to certain cells in the body, it's just like not water in the garden. Eventually, those cells are going to die. And when the cells start to die, the processes that those cells actually was responsible for, because the cell's not there again. So you find that like things like memory, cognitive function, ability to determine time and place, to reason, rationale, those type of things leave you. And that's why people end up with things like Alzheimer's and Parkinson and vascular dementia. Because of those things, they don't get insufficient blood flow to the brain. Hence the reason you need to get things like a nerve restore. And we're going to get back Optimizer shortly. The anthocyanin complex is also a very good product. Inflammation formula as well. You can also find those products. So that's normally what that is, Rihanna Francis. You could always set up a test where you could have your blood and scan done. Good. In addition to that, let me say a pleasant good evening to Ms. Jennifer Valentine. A pleasant good afternoon to you. She says, she's all locked on. So this hormonal disruption, guys, so keep in mind we are back to our regular schedule live, which is Monday. That's the next Monday. And we're going to be continuing the hormonal disruption situation. We're going to go over some testimonies with some clients who would have had hormonal disruption, and they came to us and they actually gave testimonies for that. We're going to be discussing that. So again, that's taking place, God's willing, Monday, God's willing, 22nd. So that's Monday, 22nd. So look out for that. And that's at 8:30 p.m. Monday. Good. And we'll be discussing hormonal disruption in women. Also, answer and question. Keep in mind those announcements for Batson and Associates. We are this month, of course, I almost forget this. And again, Nerve Restore comes in here as well. Nerve Restore, where this month is minority mental health awareness. So, you know, it's people in terms of mental health, you know, mental health is something a lot of people don't discuss in this country. A lot of persons having problems with depression, anxiety, you know, problem with being bipolar, schizophrenia, a lot of issues. But the thing is, before those persons got those issues, they were actually persons with problems associated with poor mental health. Because when you get nervous breakdowns, anything can happen. You can become schizophrenic, you can become bipolar because your garden is not getting water, as it were. So because those crops are not getting water and they eventually die, the same thing applies to different parts of the brain when you do not get sufficient blood flow. Check out the inflammation formula, check out the nerve restore, check out the anthocyanin complex. That anthocyanin complex very good for eyesight. Together with the eye optics formula, very good products for eyes. Optimizer, we don't have that in stock, but we will be getting back Optimizer and Cerebral shortly. We have balanced circulation in stock, really good product that helps with blood pressure and that type of thing. So again, you know, keep in mind those issues. Okay, Ms. Jennifer Valentine asked the question, Doc, what is Barrett's esophagus? Okay, so I'm gonna look because of course I do not know all the diseases that they have. Let me just quickly look and see. As I said, once I determine the organ system that is affected, then I can tell you whether we can help or not. Barrett's esophagus. Barrett's esophagus is a condition in which there is an abnormal change in the mucosal cells lining the lower portion of the esophagus, from the stratified squamous epithelium to sample Holmer epithelium with intercepted goblet cells that are normally present only in the small intestines and large intestines. Okay. Oh, okay. So basically, yeah, I believe. Okay, so that is what it is. So it's a situation where the cells, it's like the cells out of place. So you have cells in the esophagus that do not behave the way that it's supposed to, as well as issues associated with cells in the small and large intestine. So because of that, it's almost like it's an inflammatory situation. So there are things that we can actually give to help with that. We have the digestive restore. We also have digestive balance. Very soon we'll be getting back that gastro tea as well. So that is going to actually help individuals. So in indications like that, you know, we can actually help you where that is concerned with that situation. So that's what's Barrett's esophagus. Keep in mind too as well that inflammation formula or advanced chlorophyll. Lots of products, lot of special, lots of discounts. Keep in mind that symposium taking place Sunday, the 25th of August. That's Sunday, the 25th of August at our Chagonas office, which is located on the first floor of Money Talks building in Montrose, Chagonas. You can always call now and register. When I say call now, well, now as in tomorrow morning now, right? You can call and register. Of course, that telephone number again, 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. Again, that's 314-9975. In addition to that as well, we have that Christmas in July promotion where you get 25% discount off your circulation protocol. A lot of you who have issues with poor circulation, you know, pins and needles, cramping in your calves, burning under your feet. So, of course, we're very close to our time. So keep in mind, again, next Monday, God's willing, you know, we will actually be able to discuss tomorrow, please God. So those of you who could actually join us, keep in mind those programs taking place 11 to 11:30 on our Facebooks at Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook, on YouTube, Batson and Associates Trinidad, and that's tomorrow, please God, from 11 to 11:30 a.m. Then from 2:15 to 3:15 with DJ Mamu on djmamuradiott.com. And we also have Synergy TV, which is going to be on Synergy TV from Thursday, tomorrow, please God, from 5 to 5:15. Okay, so this brings our lives to an end. As we always say at Batson Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. So look out for those programs tomorrow. Please go on, of course, our program Hormonal Disruption taking place next Monday again. So you can like us, share us. Keep in mind we are Batso and Associates Limited on Facebook, and on YouTube we are Batso and Associates Trinidad. Take care, guys. Have a good night.